Hey everybody, and welcome back to Swept Media at the convergence of AI and Web3. Today we're going to look at another new, very new AI application. Actually, it's an app builder that's based on Solana. It's called Easy One Dev. I think the abbreviation of it is Easy One. This is a really interesting thing. It's something that among many of the AI builders in Web3 that I've talked to, and even at really big enterprises, uh, they are trying to build essentially no code or low code app builders or agent builders and deployers. Easy basically claims to have already done this, and they're still building and making that use case for it more and more powerful on Solana. Of course, they're going to choose Solana. That's not a criticism at all. Solana is kind of made for these kind of deployments because of the speed of the network and the freedom to basically use bots. And there's not going to be any censorship of that sort from an AI agent. That's why you see so many so many agents on Solana because it's open to bot usage and very high throughput. But Easy is a really interesting one because it's the first one I've seen that has as simple of an interface as you can basically get. It looks just like the interface of a chat GPT or Gemini. It's like a blank screen, and then you get the search bar. It basically says type in what you want to do here, and it gives you a few suggestions before you run any queries or do anything with it. And the code seems to be decent when you give it strict enough parameters. This is the X account for Easy One Dev. They've already purchased the Premier. I think that's the Premier or whatever it's called, Premium Gold Star. So they kind of inspires confidence that they kind of mean business about this. Because it's not like a cheap thing. They're going to sink a bunch of money into this on a monthly basis or a yearly basis to keep attention high on it. It seems like they may be already working with Tolly, with the founder of Solana, to make this thing better. And people are responding to it. It seems like the token's already been listed, all this and that. But now this is what I want to look at. So we're going to actually try to use this thing. I want to build some kind of app. I want to see what it looks like. Oh, we should take a look at the documentation. Oh, that's just the Git book. We'll look at that later then. I was playing around with this a little bit already, so I'm gonna do another one. We'll use DeepSeek Coder because I think the DeepSeek Coder is the best AI coder right now. So we'll just see how it goes. I'm going to give it a prompt. Let's see, what do I want it to do? Oops. Um, so I prompted it to make an agent that sends a notification email to me. It's a fake email, so don't try to send anything to it. Anytime Solana hits $200, and that could be going up or going down. I guess I should have prompted it with an actual notification email. That would have made it a lot easier. But you'll see that it's building the code right now. It's building this script. I can insert that message anywhere, and maybe I'll do that later. But let's see how this thing builds it. We can see it in motion. Oh, it's not going to let me scroll until the thing is done. And it gives you like a status bar. So we can see it building the code in real time. And it looks like it's caching and now allow less secure apps in Gmail settings. That's funny. So it's all done building. Looks like, yeah. Put the email in there. I should have put a message, but this is the code for it. I can download it and I can deploy this anywhere that it's possible to do that. And that took like 15 seconds. It was a very weak prompt, and it gave me this whole script. There probably needs to be some touch ups on it. I wouldn't expect it to be out of the box perfect because, for example, like I didn't use Gmail. I said email.com. So maybe maybe this thing sends email from Gmail, and that's why it needs to specify that. But aside from that, this is great. This is a really, really interesting tool for people who cannot code. And I have to assume that they're going to improve this interface because it's so very bare bones that as the token price, or maybe they get some funding from somewhere, maybe they'll get a grant from Solana. As that money increases, they're going to need to add a bunch more bells and whistles to justify the amount of money. So here's what they're kind of trying to do. Why choose Easy One Dev, the value proposition and the key features, AI powered development, expert model integration, rapid project initialization. We saw that. What we just saw was rapid project initialization. And the versatile project templates. I'm sure that it used the template to do this because it couldn't possibly have cooked that whole thing up on its own. That would be beyond impressive if that were the case. So here's its Git book. I would recommend you guys look through this if you're interested in using it or building with it. One cool thing is you can publish any of these scripts that you have it write directly to GitHub, to your GitHub. And here's what some people are talking about. Here's basically, Rugged Ones is like it seems like a whale chat or a research team who are looking into these kind of AI projects on Solana right now, because they've been on top of a number of them that have come out recently that have been going through a very hardy build phase. Like for example, Meyer, they were on top of Meyer as well. So what are they saying here? Essentially that this is the feedback. So they're saying users don't know how to structure an effective prompt. That is very true. I think we've talked about that a few times here. Having step-by-step guide would be helpful for prompt. So what they're talking about is what Easy should do is include a prompt engineering tutorial, like very short. That's actually a really good idea because no one knows how to prompt stuff right in the general populace. Adding dedicated tutorial section would help users understand how to properly structure prompts for building websites and apps. As these AI agents become more powerful, the biggest bottleneck is going to be the prompt engineering. So when any Tom, Dick, Harry, or Sally goes on to ChatGPT in a year from now, presumably it's going to be 20 times as powerful as it is now, but your prompts are still going to suck. They're going to be really, really crappy. The better you prompt the agent, the chatbot, the better your response is going to be, but it takes some practice. It takes some time. Yes, you can go through the process of training the chatbot through a back and forth, but it also would be better to just have a really good prompt in the first place. You feed it some of the information that it needs to know, and then you give it the prompt. That's the more sophisticated way of prompting. And then the more clumsy way is what I actually tend to do more because I'm lazy, is give it this back and forth. Some other stuff is I use Grok to summarize this. So I'm going to read this off, or some of it. They put together this is Rugged Ones again, a summary of what this thing is all about. Basically, they tested it. They gave some feedback about it. They built a project with Easy, redeployed it locally, made tweaks, and found it worked flawlessly. So what I saw, maybe it was flawless script from what I saw. I'll check through it later. I'm not going to do it live with you guys. And then we'll see if it actually works. Then another one, they compared this to other no-code code writers, noting that a major similar company has market cap 25x higher. So they're talking about the token price, and testing different LLMs connected to the platform with varying results, which they deem expected. So they're saying it's not going to be exactly as good or necessarily worse than others, but there will be differences to other LLMs. And talking about AI Financial Advisor Portal pulls real-time ETF prices. This is where they're getting the SOL prices from, by the way. This is where they're getting asset prices from. the AI financial advisor. That's a part of Easy. And yeah, basically just talking about the crypto. So here is that cryptocurrency. Easy looks like it had a really good pump. I mean, it was at, wow, 31,000 until a week ago, just over a week ago, and went all the way up to 3.5 mil. So someone got really rich if they held on to that. But even still, it's at 1.2 mil. Everything has been dumping, as I'm sure you know, and it's still at a respectable 1.25 mil for some no name, totally undiscovered thing in the AI space. We'll see how this thing pans out. Same with Meyer. It's kind of like around 1 or 2 mil right now, if I remember correctly. So everything is in that range. Solana asset price, Sol, is also pretty depressed right now. But the bottom line is, Easy Dev looks really, really interesting. Just like Meyer, I'm really excited to see how this one builds out. If it has any lasting power, these things do tend to be flash in the pan. I would consider it, if it lasts another week, that would be good. Like if the community sticks around for it for another week, that would be good in helping them build. Because right now it seems like the product is there. They have more than an MVP. Now they just need to do the community building, which it also looks like they're trying to do by getting listed on various centralized exchanges. So best of luck to the Easy Dev team. I hope that they can continue building on this thing, improving it, making it something that everyone will want to use, and turning it into a household name. Thanks a lot for being here. We'll come back at you next time. See ya.